Dodge Ram SRT-10 pace truck's about to pull off. Matt Kenseth, no longer the leader. He's in midfield. There you see him at pace lap speed. And you'll see that speed build as he tries to come from 7th place back to the lead.
And this is as deep in the field as he's been in a number of laps. So we'll see how he can respond to it, fight not only those cars in front of him, but all that lap traffic on the inside.
Now restarting them back there in 7th place is like restarting 14th.
Hey, who else got a great pit stop was Mark Martin. Viagra Ford is up in 5th place. And Matt, I think that's the highest he's been all day.
It sure is, Mike. And Mark Martin was asking before that stop, he said, look, I need to be freed up a little more. They've been working on his car just being way too tight all day. It's been a work in progress. Small adjustments every stop has helped. A half a round on the track bar. Let's see if it works that car a little more to the free side.
But, Matt, I agree with what his crew chief, Ben Leslie, and that group is doing. The key word's a little tight. They can't step across that line and get that car loose. We've seen how that works.
Yeah, and you know, Larry, as a driver, you're going to complain a little bit, and the crew chief sometimes will overreact. You've got to take all the data you got down there, tire pressures. You stick those tires when you take them off to be sure that driver is giving you exactly the kind of information you need.
And I need to be corrected. His crew chief now is Pat Tryson. Made the swap with Ben Leslie a few races from the end last year.
Because the driver wants the car to be perfect. You know, he wants everything. He wants it to drive perfectly. He don't want to, I won't say he don't want to have to do anything, but he don't want to have to deal with any problems.
Mark Martin gives up 5th spot to Matt Kenseth, the yellow car just ahead.
Matt Kenseth is getting about 2 cars a lap right now. He's on a mission to get back to the front of this field. Right now, he's about 2 3/4 seconds behind Kevin Harvick, the leader.
You mentioned Ben Leslie, who's now crew chief for Ricky Rudd, and he's in the midst of a big pile right behind this group for Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Burton. Boy, there wasn't much room there between Brian Vickers and Burton's bumpers.
Right now, Jeff Burton, Jimmy Johnson, and the 48 who we're riding with, they're battling for 21st position. Way back in the field. About 7 seconds behind the leader.
And here's this group at the tail end of the lead pack, and they're dogfighting for positions back there. Kyle Petty and Jimmy Johnson side by side. That's Derek Cope just ahead.
Pretty well boxed in there. He's going to have to go the outside, Jimmy is, if he's going to get around these cats.
This car didn't get a very good bite up there in the second groove.
Just can't quite get back to the throttle when you got to kind of let the thing take a set, and it just takes a little bit longer when you're up out of the groove.
7th place, Sadler and Gordon.
Jeff Gordon, remember, he had to go to the rear of the field after that engine change. It's taken him all day long, but he's finally up in the top 10 as he battles Elliott Sadler in the 38. No longer a battle for 7th position.
Yeah, and Jeff a couple of times in some of these longer runs early on was in jeopardy going a lap down. But again, he's one of the cars that has continued to make improvements, and now he's really looks pretty racy.
We're in Atlanta next weekend. Come join us.
500 miles.
That will be a test for the new rules.
Yes. Now that Kevin Harvick's out in clean air, he's been able to take off from the field. 1.1 seconds ahead. Jeff Hammond.
Sitting here watching a second ago, Mike, I noticed that Casey Kane had just gone around Brendan Gaughan, and he was being followed real closely by his teammates, Jeremy Mayfield, as well as Bill Elliott right there. So all the Evernham cars are right there real close together. Either kind of hung back in the field. They all seem like they're trying to make their way back to the front.
Yeah, Jeff, it's almost like the racetrack has went away from Casey Kane in the 9 car right there. They haven't kept up with the racetrack. You know, contrary to what we was talking about with Jeff Gordon in the 24 group a while ago, they've made the right adjustments. They've kept up with the racetrack.
That's probably the difference in a rookie and a veteran. Rookie's not giving them enough good, not giving them the kind of information they need to make the right changes.
Jeff Gordon busts through that group. Johnny Sauter in the AOL 30 up on the high side with McMurray, who is on the lead lap. Sauter is not.
It's like somebody finally told these guys, we only got 100 miles to go. You better step it up. And they are stepping it up.
Well, you know, if you're Matt Kenseth, though, you're sitting back there and you're thinking, well, my pit crew is pretty good. They've been pretty good all day. Don't need worrying because they're going to pick me up some spots when I come in on that last green flag stop. So I'll just ride here and not push it too hard.
He's in a battle right now. Won't be a battle long with his teammate Kurt Busch in the 97 car moves into 4th.
And there there, Kevin Harvick up 1.3 seconds on Tony Stewart.
But Matt Kenseth is 0.2 of a second lap, and we have a caution on the field. We have a caution on the racetrack.
Debris at the start-finish line brings out the 6th yellow flag. There it is. 6th yellow at lap 200.
Well, you know what that tells me? The last 3 races here, we've had 6 cautions.
We're on the mark right now, aren't we?
That's it.
Jeff, what this will do, though, is put these teams in a window where they can make it from here should we go green the rest of the way with a pit stop.
It'll do that for sure, but it's also going to put a lot of pressure back on these pit crews to perform one more time and realizing they just stopped just a few laps ago, so who can catch your breath and get it done now?
And Dale Jr. back in the garage once again, 36 laps down. So they get set to refuel over at Nellis Air Force Base. Much the same thing going on.
Yeah.
Faster speeds. They're not so worried about position as we are here.
No, here we gas and go, and there they just kind of gas and wait a while.
Go, go, go.
And when all this shakes out, Sterling Marlin, the 40 car, he will be back on the lead lap. He'll get the pardon, so he's in the 23rd position.
Robbie Reiser, Matt Kenseth's crew chief.
You know, if nothing else, the yellow flag deal and giving people laps back is keeping more cars on the lead lap. It's one good thing.
Now Kenseth came out or restarted 7th. He comes into the pits in 4th. Here's Steve.
Mike Kevin Harvick said to crew chief Todd Berry, this car feels great when it's out front. Todd said we'll do our best in the pits to keep you out there. 4 tires for Kevin Harvick. Matt
Kenseth said the car was near perfect on that last run. Does not want any adjustments. Just a smooth, fast stop, unlike the last one. But they've been great all day. They've been great for the last 2 races. To Dick.
Tony Stewart says his car is a little bit nervous in the center of the corner. They have just changed a tiny bit of air pressure in the nose. That's it. Ginny.
Elliott Sadler's saying he doesn't like these tires at all. If we've got any more, we need to get rid of these. No grip at all in the front, no grip at all in the rear. So you know what he got, 4 tires. Notable though, guys, Jimmy Johnson, the 48, just taking 2 on the right side.
Well, that's a little change of strategy.
Somebody had to do it.
Sure.
I mean, there's too many opportunities here.
Yeah, I mean, look at our yellow highlights out here. Dale Jarrett's crew, Rusty Wallace, Casey Kane. Good pit stops right there. That catapults them up into the top 10.
But Larry, you know, no more laps than we've run here since the last caution. I mean, you got to think about track position now. And I tell you, taking 2 right now, I don't think was a bad move.
Well, remember, Jimmy Johnson was way back in the field. I just don't see it was a gamble for him with only 7 laps on his tires.
202 laps complete in the UAW-Daimler Chrysler 400. Tony Stewart ahead of Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Elliott Sadler, and Casey Mears.